What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Matt Davis Motivation. In today's video, we're gonna be doing three things. The first is I'm going to practice making a time lapse on the Canon M50 because there's some different settings you can tweak and modify on there. And so I'm gonna mess around doing that. Second thing is I'm gonna be putting on Christmas decorations on my tree because I just put up my Christmas tree. I'm super excited about it. I've actually never gotten a real tree in this house or ever since not living at home with my parents. So kind of exciting, very happy about it. I actually put it over in my daughter's room. So we're gonna do that, kind of knock out two things in one. And then lastly, we're gonna talk about COVID-19 and this mask situation, and will socializing ever be the same? So let's get into it. If it's your first time joining us, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content coming up. This is Matt Davis Motivation, where I'm gonna be doing my best to give you guys some motivational content, but not every video is necessarily gonna be like in your face, you know, trying to get you pumped up. Some of them will be. Check out my first few videos. Those are definitely all like that. For now, let's get into it. Let's go put these decorations on the tree, and I'm gonna mess with these time lapse. Let's do it. And for our final touch, a nice little purple star here. Nothing too special. I got it for my daughter because the tree is in her room, of course, and her favorite color is purple. So here we go. Oh, go on. Come on. Aha. Nice. Yes. Excellent. This is the first tree I've ever put up, so I'm pretty happy with it, honestly. What do you guys think? Not too bad, huh? Not too bad. Got some little snowflakes in there, some cupcakes. I'm pretty happy. Of course, I'm a fan of the colorful light. Tree is done. Let's head back over to the room and talk about this COVID-19 situation. Okay, we are back over in the room here. Today has been an amazing day. Honestly, I hope all of you have had a great day. I unexpectedly actually had Neve today, my daughter, and I took her to a birthday party. I unexpectedly went and picked up that tree. There was only a few left on the lot over at the church where they were selling them. I snagged one up, very happy that I got to do that. So as far as COVID-19 goes, it's really hard to say like where to begin. I think it's safe to say that in some way, shape, or another, we have pretty much all been affected at this point. It may be in a major way, you know, a lot of people have gotten sick, of course. A lot of people have died. My heart goes out to all of the people that have had family members, loved ones, friends actually die from this. I, in the most part, have been mostly blessed because I've definitely been affected, and I'll talk about that in a sec, but I haven't had anyone extremely close to me actually die. And the amount of people that I've actually known get COVID-19 have been minimal. And there's a few people in my small social circle that I've heard of getting it, but most of them have recovered. I wasn't majorly affected until a few weeks ago when my family from California actually was supposed to come out to visit us for Thanksgiving, and it was gonna be the first time that I was gonna have my daughter, my sister was gonna have her son, and my grandma was supposed to come out and see all of us. And that was kind of supposed to be a special moment. You know, my grandma is in her 80s, and of course her time is limited. And so when I heard that they had canceled the trip, I was pretty bummed about that. And for the first time, it felt like I had kind of been heavily impacted by not being able to see my family. In more recent days, my grandma right now actually has COVID-19 over in Texas. Scares the heck out of me. She's a strong woman though, and I truly believe that she is gonna pull through. But it's just wild, man. I mean, the biggest thing for me is the mask situation. And I know there's gonna be differences in opinion on this, and a lot of people are gonna think I'm really ignorant and dumb, but I don't wear a mask anywhere I go. Since day one this has all started, I knew that I was not a fan of the mask. I didn't want to wear one. And my mentality is that diseases like this have been, have come to Earth before, and never have we been mandated like this to wear a mask everywhere we go. I think it's just humanity's way of trying to control things that, is really, kind of hard to control. There's a lot of people out there that have gotten the disease when they wore a mask, right? And what's even crazier is that, if you truly believe that a little mask over your face is going to prevent you from getting it, then I'm sorry, but I'm just not buying it, right? A lot of people will tell you that, wearing a mask will help prevent the disease and all this stuff. That's great. I believe it. I know it's true, right? You inhale and exhale through your nose, your mouth, that's where the disease is gonna go in, right? But ultimately, to me, it's not worth having to wear something over my face everywhere I go, all the time. Back when I was working at my job, I was mandated to wear the mask, and it was miserable. I hated it. And the mask tugged on my ears personally, always gave me a headache. I just wasn't a fan. And so even to this day, right, you're supposed to wear a mask going into stores, X, Y, and Z. I have completely given up on that. When I go out in public, I'm usually one of the only people not wearing a mask. And to me, no one should care, because if you're wearing a mask, you're doing everything that you can to protect yourself. And so you shouldn't be that concerned about what I'm doing. Now, this really brings in the bigger question, right? Will socializing and humanity ever be the same? There's different viewpoints in looking at this. A lot of people might believe that this will pass and a vaccine will come out, and, we'll all get it maybe you won't. And that, eventually this whole thing will kind of, trail off, right? But there's a small part of me that thinks humanity and society has changed for, ever, permanently. And I think this disease has really gotten people really scared about germs and the way they're spread and all of this stuff. And it's got me personally worried, because I don't really believe that trying to minimize germ contact and minimize human contact and staying away from people is gonna be good for our immune systems and our bodies down the road. Now, obviously, I'm not a scientist. This is just kind of my opinion, right? Everyone's got their opinion. But ultimately, you build up your immune system by exposing yourself to these sorts of things. And again, luckily, I'm extremely blessed, because I'm 25 years old. I'm in good shape. I live a pretty clean lifestyle, all this stuff. So even if I were to come into contact with COVID-19 this moment, catch the disease, get sick, I'm more than confident that I personally would probably be okay. That's just me personally. Now, what I think is interesting is that a lot of people don't have faith in their life. And again, I know that sounds silly, and if you're a scientist or you've done more research than I, you're gonna think I'm stupid, and that's fine. But I just think it's interesting that, you truly believe that you have to go out and wear a mask to protect yourself. Because again, a disease like this is not gonna necessarily be stopped by a mask on your face. And so, just kind of my opinion, I, question what the future holds for mankind and society as a whole. Unfortunately, I'm gonna call this now, I think the mask thing is here to stay. I really think it is, because, even if they do come out with a vaccine promising and all of these things, we as a society now have already been sort of brainwashed enough into believing that that is the best thing for us. And less than a year ago, guys, we weren't doing any of this, you know what I mean? And I know there's different pools of thought out there, and that's fine, it's all fine. But a lot of people take what they see on the news and what they read online, or what one researcher said, and they just take it to the extremes. And we have over 7 billion people listening to a small majority of the people that, claim to know what they're talking about with this. And that alone, I think, is interesting, right? How could you possibly, how could we all function as a society going on what a few people say? You know what I mean? So those are kind of just my thoughts. Those are my opinions. I know you have one too. Feel free to share in the comments below. Again, I know a lot of you guys are gonna think I'm, you know, stupid and ignorant and all of that stuff. Maybe I slightly am. That's fine. Again, I just have faith in God to protect me from something like that. You know, that's just me. So thank you guys for watching. Again, definitely working on practicing with the camera here, different settings like time lapse. You know, my last video I was messing around with ISO, aperture, and shutter speed, and kind of figured out a little bit what I like and stuff. We are shooting on manual mode right now. It's 1/50, 6.3 right now on the aperture, and so I hope this doesn't come out too dark. The ISO is on auto because when I left the ISO on auto last time, it definitely turned out kind of the best with the brightness in the room and what have you. Thank you again for watching. Like, subscribe, leave your thoughts and comments below, and stay tuned for more uploads soon. Have a good night.